Peace to everybody. Hope everybody can hear me okay. But we're doing something different. You know, I'm literally bicking back, being bull at the brib, chilling. But I got about like an hour in between calls. So right now, I want to talk about the last quarter moon, which will be happening throughout Sagittarius. What's today? Friday or Saturday, one of those. It's Saturday, okay. It's Saturday. So today is Saturday. Throughout the weekend into Monday, the moon will be transiting through what is Sagittarius. So it's very important to understand the vibes going through these days because it's very important. I'll break that down and explain that. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, new to my content, please check the link in my bio, link in description. If you see this on YouTube, I am pre-ordering and putting pre-orders together for people who are interested in Chakra Nova, because the pre-orders will get the book early. You'll get the book the first week of May. Everybody else is going to order it on the 23rd, and good luck with the USPS. You get a free workbook. People who don't pre-order, they'll have to pay for the workbook unless they get the deluxe. Generally, though, it's going to be, you get it early, you get the free workbook, and you get it 30% off. I'll be doing 50% off very soon, so stay in tune for that. And yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me all right. I'm in a different location, so the vibes might be a little bit differently. But be sure to check that out. And another thing that we got going on, February 20th, that means it's 13 days away, we will do the final Chakra Nova course. And in space of trying to explain or speak about the Chakra Nova course, that's going to be very centered in what we'll be talking about now in this build. But generally, like, as we incorporate astrology in reference to the chakras, what we find is that everything is perfectly in alignment. Everything is copacetic. So what I'm saying is that there is no real difference between astrology and chakras, because the influence that happen in astrology, they may not affect the person, right? So say, for instance, the sun is in Aquarius or Capricorn, right? That doesn't affect a person or a human being. However, what does it affect? It affects your chakras. So if you understand the chakras, then you can understand your astrology. Then you can understand your tarot. You can understand your occult accesses, the way that you understand things. As a personal example is that I just understand certain occult things that I used to like beat my head on. And it's like, I don't really understand that, so I just forget about it, you know, or don't care about it. But as I'm doing this chakra work, I'm very hungry for the knowledge that I didn't understand. Is because I understand it now. So yes, that happens February 20th. Link in bio, link in the description, wherever you watch this at. Sign up. It's only $23. It's a wonderful experience, guided meditation. And I have to talk about this in every video, guys, because this is what I do in real life. You know, if y'all don't sign up for the courses, if y'all don't buy the books, then ain't no internet for me to even do these IG lives. Ain't no internet for me to pay my phone bill. So I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I don't work for nobody. I work completely independently for myself. So in the space of me promoting my products, it's a mere tool that I need for taking care of my family. So generally, if you feel like you don't want to support and you don't have the money to support, or you're not interested in the book or none of that shit, I don't care. But there are people outside of you that will, but they just don't know it. So I'm helping the people who will support know of the things that are going on so they could then do it. So if you're interested in Chakra Nova, pre-order. or you're interested in signing up for Chakra Nova Crown Chakra activation, the link will be in my bio or the link is in my description. So let's deal with the energy. So the moon will be transiting into the sweet spot of what we call the zodiacal wheel, which is the Milky Way of Scorpio and Sagittarius, or Ophiuchus. There is an understanding that I really hope that we could really balance, because if it's different when you're in tuning to psychic power and psychic energy. When you in tune to psychic power and psychic energy, you don't need a bias. So your biases relate to, okay, if I get this boyfriend, everything gonna be perfect. You'll get the boyfriend, and then you'll realize, oh shit, I gotta actually put effort and work into this relationship. Okay, something wrong with this man, let me get another one. Or it's a concept that you're working with. Okay, if I get this degree, then everything will be perfect. I'll be able to buy this house. I'll be able to buy this car. You get the degree, you buy the house, you buy the car, but you're forgetting that there's a particular gnosis that doesn't rely on what you think or what you expect or what you're working towards. It actually reverts into balance. And it actually reverts into understanding the shadow. And it's very important to understand the shadow, because the shadow is deeply related to what is apparent. So the problem with the apparent and the upkeep of the apparent is that it does not serve the shadow. So generally, within relationships, within business, within civilization, there comes a time where the shadow must be served. I reference the shadow a lot, but it doesn't hit the core the way that I feel it should, because people are still enamored by glamour. People are still enamored by illusion. So if you pay attention to an illusion, you're not going to get any value. However, that illusion and glamour is real, but it's related to the shadow. It's related to the spiritual. It's related to this area which we call Ophiuchus, or which we call the Milky Way, or which we call the realm of Imhotep. However, within this, we understand exactly what's taking place and how to really ride through this weekend. I've been really dealing with a lot of high emotional energy from people. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie Perfect Sense, but it's exactly like that, where people are crying and people are dealing with negative energy and they don't know where it come from. And generally, it could be men that experience this, but what I'm noticing is a lot of women are experiencing this. And I need to let y'all know, y'all can argue with me, but we have to deal with this. It's not about everything that you see, ladies. And the enemy works very hard at taking control of what you perceive to be true. And whether you feed into it and find value in everything that you see, then you're forsaking the most valuable, or the creation of what you see. What you see is built from the inside. And if you're able to focus in on your inside, then you're able to find that balance, because we're not going to disregard and say that physical beauty is worth nothing, because that's not balance. So generally you say, I don't care how I look, right? I only care about my spiritual side. That is not how you deal with the energy. You don't override one side for the other. That is not balance. It's like if the scale is tipped over to one side and then you put all of your eggs onto the other side, then the natural response is then to, and then what happens is that we're going back and forth. What I'm trying to bring about is a balance. Our balance, we understand that there is no separation between our divinity. Because sometimes we look at our experiences, our humanity, as if they are not divine. But it is all sacred. Even the tears, even the negativity. The image that a person puts forth is not the whole image, it's only half. However, within that, you can actually find a deeper concept of shamanism. So what is shamanism? Shamanism is understanding energies as they exist. And because you understand different energies, you could utilize these energies at will. Some days you could be a fox. Some days you could be a bear. Some days you could be a dragon. Some days you could be a lizard. Some days you could be all different types of energies. Now, if this sounds weird to you, it is because you are so ego-centered and focused on your humanity that you won't be able to tap into higher level shamanistic principles of healing. Because what you would then notice is that you're more focused and centered on your bias and making sure that your biases come true. The reality is that when your biases do come true, are you able to handle it or accept that, the fact that I want these biases aren't going to really amount to much once I finally get it. And until you process that within your mind, if I get everything that I want, everything that I wish to accomplish is not going to matter, because the only thing that matters is my homeostasisness or my balance. So generally, if you had everything you wanted, but your temperature was at 105, you would not be able to enjoy it. If you had everything you wanted and your temperature dropped to 90 degrees, you would not be able to enjoy it. If you had everything you wanted, but you were at a hormonal imbalance, meaning that your emotions will overrun your frequency. And that's what we're experiencing as Scorpio has transited through Scorpio, as the moon has transited through Scorpio. It is brought about the true feelings from your womb. And if you identify with a perfect image, a smiley face, right? We discussed this in the full moon mystic math, but generally the things that I say aren't fully understood and grasped and applied. And that's okay. I need to get better at making my message more tangible in that aspect. But when you reference your emotionality, it is simply the energies that are rising up that need to be released, right? As these energies rise up, they need to be released, and you need to honor and acknowledge your emotional frequency. Why do you honor and acknowledge your emotional frequency? Because you could be the queen in the fucking castle, right? When your emotions take over, it's no longer mattering that you're the queen in the castle. You're now dealing with the little girl who was taken advantage of. You're now dealing with the little boy who had been molested. You're now dealing with the energies of which you don't want to deal with when you show up on a daily basis. And this is the shadow, right? However, the shadow is the actual point that allows us to grow. Because nobody grows through perfection. If you thought that your life was supposed to be perfect and that was your spiritual journey, you missing the point of a Scorpio moon. You actually want to seek out the pain and heal the pain, because that will be the thing that will allow you to overcome. Imagining that there's no pain there and showing forth with a smiley face, that's only half of the battle. Because it's not to say that you're supposed to show up sad every day, but you do have to deal with the inner work. You do have to deal with these darker emotions, and you have to release them in order to fly freely. So as you deal with these nitty gritty emotions rising up, allow them to rise up, allow them to cry, right? Because you want to be fully involved and fully present. What happens, what blocks us from being present, what blocks us from being true, is that we're more centered on a past trauma and trying to prevent that past trauma subconsciously, to which our ability to be authentic, our ability to love, our ability to even be present is somewhat blocked. It's like a filter. It's like it's there, but you cannot see it. So in order to lift the veil, in order to remove the veil, we have to be very centered on our spiritual processes in our shamanism. But then since we're dealing with Ophiuchus, we're not dealing with shamanism for the root of shamanism. So what does that look like? On the internet, you'll have a whole bunch of people that'll say, I'm a this, I'm a that, 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 right? As if to say being this is the solution. And it could be for them, but the overall goal is to focus on both the spiritual and the physical, because you won't have one without the other. You don't deal with the spiritual for the sake of spiritual. You deal with the spiritual for how it relates to your human experience. You don't then deal with your human experience for the sake of the human experience. You deal with your human experience and feed back to your spiritual. Thus, you create a synergistic time loop of energy, of serving both energies. You serve your humanity, then you serve your spirituality. You serve your humanity, and then you serve your spirituality. So if you're having emotional troubles and emotional blocks, the truth of the matter is that you have no longer served your spirituality. You have put your spirituality on the back burner because you feel that something humanity within humanity, encapsulated in a secret nook, in a secret corner, somewhere that nobody has found, is your actual salvation. And I'm here to say that you don't actually get to live in the woods, nor do you completely identify with a particular gender, nor do you particularly get rid of your animalistic tendencies, nor do you particularly exist purely in the mind, right? You have other aspects where you exist within civilization. Y'all live in neighborhoods, y'all live in homes, right? You have some women be having feminine energy, and some women be having masculine energy, and some men be having feminine energy. Some people be fully ingrained into their animalistic tendencies, but they never fully aware that it is an animalistic tendency, because your animalistic tendencies is centered on your instinct. But your instinct is the reason why you survive and alive today. So you have to figure out a balance, but not a balance in the Libra scales. The balance that Sagittarius presents is an acknowledgement of all. Because when you acknowledge all, then you find the purpose. If you're sectioning off, well, I'm conscious because consciousness is better, then you're no longer in a Sagittarian moon state. You're more in a societal victory, getting applaud and all of your trophies because you made the best decisions, you didn't make no mistakes, and now you get pat on the back. If you are down here to do alchemy, then there is negative energy that you have to work through. You don't disregard it. You don't act like it don't exist. You don't act like your subscribers is going to happen. You don't act like your friendships is going to sustain you. You don't pride yourself on anything but the fact that you looked at your negativity soberly and honestly, and you began to do work towards it. You began to look at the shit that you've been suppressing, and you begin to speak it. Now you speak it because you know that it's going to have negative consequences, but that doesn't stop you from speaking it, because the negative consequences need to happen, right? Because so what happens in relationships? Because we generally get there. We always revert there. This is the kind of crux of civilization in that space of just trying to understand relationships. What happens in our relationships? This is real rap. We really do work hard to present positive situations within our relationship. We really put the effort and energy to create positive relationships, positive circumstances, positive situations, positive vibrations, positive feelings. But guess what, family? Guess what doesn't happen? You don't get that positivity in return. You know why? Because relationships are built off of negative energies and what you do in response to them. What have we been doing? We've been looking at the negative things that happen in our relationships as indications that we need to leave and get the fuck out of there. But the reality of life is that those negative energies are to be alchemized or worked through. Good thing that you have a Scorpio energy in your household, that you can actually see those things and work through those things, because there is no easy button when it comes to relationships. There is no easy button when it comes to relationships. Whatever is going to come to the surface has to be dealt with. And our ability to deal with it is our ability to have positive relationships. If you look at somebody on the gram or Facebook and you say, boy, oh boy, they got a perfect relationship. Boy, oh boy, they got a relationship. You probably aren't ready for the shadow work that those two people had to go through to get to where they're at. However, when you look at it from the outside looking in, you might just be feeling like, okay, this is this is just a perfect thing. And all you have to do is do this, is that to be perfect. But the reality is you have to take the good and the bad. And when you take the good and the bad, you then understand that you can easily get through this. I promise you, going into Tuesday, the moon will enter into Capricorn. Monday, Tuesday. As the moon enters into Capricorn, that emotional vibration, that emotional heaviness is not going to be existed, and your ability to work through it, to refine the purpose. So whatever happens in your relationship, the reason that you're in that relationship will come to the surface. And if the reason for you to be in that relationship was for you to leave that relationship, then you'll leave. However, what happens should not determine what you're about to do. What happened should determine on how strong you're going to stay in it, because you know that bad things are going to happen. You should not get into a relationship with a human being in 2021 and expect roses and expect ease. You should go into a relationship with a hazmat suit on, right? You gotta go with a goddamn fire hose. You gotta know that it's a fire going on, and you have to do so much work on that person. You have to do so much healing. And I know a person is thinking, well, I don't want to do that. Well, have fun in relationships just expecting everything to be peachy keen. That should have you in trouble. I'll say it deeper. I'll go even further. If you're in a relationship and you're having troubles and you're having difficulties, be grateful that you're having those difficulties or having those troubles, because you're actually doing the work to cement that relationship into truth. It'll be the same as going to work out and looking for a workout that doesn't incur pain, right? I want to get big ass muscles, strong muscles, right? But I don't want to incur any pain. Your workout trainer is going to say, well, you got to get the fuck out this gym because I don't know nothing about this. What we're going to do is we're going to tear apart your muscle fibers and tendons. We're going to rip them shits apart, and they're going to heal back together stronger than ever. And then when you come back next week, we're going to tear that shit up again, and they're going to come back even stronger. And then the week after that, we're going to tear that shit apart. And guess what? The human body is going to meld it back stronger and stronger and stronger. So what we go through in Scorpio is the alchemy, is the tearing through. What we go through in Ophiuchus and Sagittarius is the blending and the strengthening that's going to allow us to climb up those Capricornian stairs. Okay, the blending of these energies is a concept that you have to work through. Don't look at life as good and bad. No, good or bad. You want to look at life as good and bad, right? You want to look at the homeostasisness of it, right? Because if you imagine that good is better than bad, then you will focus your whole life on being good, and you will create the deepest shadow in your life. Because when it comes to actually getting to a point of doing work, you will never have a point of reference to start, because your whole life has been inundated on just simply being good, as if bad doesn't exist. When you look out in the world, all you see is bad things happening. To which that must mean that bad things are supposed to happen. But if you're taught that only good things are supposed to happen, you'll have this energy over here never being dealt with, never being adjusted. And when you're in a relationship and you're just like, this relationship is the best relationship ever, nothing but good things have happened, you're in a fucking dream world, Neo, and you need to fucking wake up. When you are a man and you're with a woman and you can't handle a woman's emotions, you will not last. That relationship will be over, and y'all will be blaming each other, and none of you will be right, because none of you were prepared for the negativity that is for sure to come. You have two strangers from two different worlds, and at any moment, that person can feel neglected. And if you don't have the skill or the knowledge to wrap your arms around that person and remind that person that you're in this thing together, then that person will then flee and run to the safest place that they can, because you went from a lover to an enemy. Because y'all did not understand that it takes negativity and positivity to grow. It takes ripping apart what you've built so long and see if it can grow back. But this is the beauty of Scorpio. This is the magic of Scorpio. What feels like pain, what feels like trauma, what feels like tension, what feels like pressure is actually alchemy. It is actually taking the root causes of goodness and bringing them to the surface so you can begin to work on them to bring about true goodness. See, true goodness has good and bad included into it. Fake goodness has just good in it. We all know that if we ever bought a product that was just marketed to us as the best thing ever, we always take it home and realize it's not the best thing ever. They did a good job of selling it. However, when we go to the store and we know what we going to buy and we know the ingredients we going to put in that shit, you don't got to promote to us. You don't got to tell me what I need to get. I'm going to get everything that I need to get because I know what the fuck I'm doing. I know how to cook a cake. I don't need no easy one step, just add water shit. I'm going to get my butter. I'm going to get my goddamn sugar. I'm going to get all of the ingredients I need because I know what I'm doing. So you need that attitude when we go into relationships. You want an easy one size fits all. You think that going on Tinder and hitting like and it's just going to work out, and you going to meet this guy on Tinder. Y'all going to meet the first day. He going to fuck the shit out of you. He going to give you all types of orgasms. Then he going to give you some roses. Then he going to give you some money, right? He's going to go to work. Then he's going to come back, fuck the shit out of you, give you more roses, give you more money, and just repeat that process. I promise you it's never going to work out like that. I promise you that the more that a man gives you, the more that he thinks he owns you. So the ideology of getting money from a man is not something that you want to either be learning or be taught. Because the moment that you begin to, okay, I'm accepting money from this man, in his mind, he thinking, I'm buying this soul. So the more submissive you become to money, the more dominant he becomes into taking over your fucking soul. So the longer you go into that process of, I'm a protector, I'm a provider, I'm a protector, I'm a provider, I'm a protector, I'm a provider, you are telling this person that I control you. I control you. I control you. And what's not happening is people actually learning and how to understand emotion and trauma. Because if we're not talking about these things, if we're suppressing these things, when these things rise up, they will ruin anything. It's like the goddamn tarantula on Tremors or some shit. Imagine you building a building and then your shadow just come up the ground and just tear that shit up. Don't give a fuck. Your emotions don't give a fuck about nothing that you building. I see so many things fall apart because mismanaged emotions and lack of emotional intelligence, and it'll make you sick. So to really understand this, to bring this into a final point, because I got to take this call real soon. Don't favor one side, but learn to balance your negative and your positive. Learn to balance your emotions and your physicality. Learn to balance your mental and your positivity. Learn to balance your active and inactive. Learn to balance your masculine and feminine. Find honor in all things. Find honor in the negativity. Find honor in the positivity, because you are shunning negativity and you're creating a shadow, and you're not creating truth. You're not creating clarity by feeling as if I know what's wrong. I know what's good. In my shunning and my negativity, I spew freely because I'm confident in how I feel. to which you are not doing true shadow work. You are creating more shadow. You are creating more blocks, because the reality is that you do not know. None of us know. We are here to find homeostasis and balance. And homeostasis is not looking at our temperature and saying hot is positive and cold is negative. So let's just be 150 degrees. You would catch a fever and you would die. So the concepts don't even exist within our human body, good or bad. We have good and bad within our body, but good is balance and bad is imbalance. So throughout this week, remember, if I'm heavy in one area, am I balanced? Find balance. And you'll never be steered wrong. You'll always be clear. You'll always have intuition. You'll always be in sync, because your body is not going to lie to you. So with that being said, man, please join us. Links will be in the description, link in the bio. Chakra Nova is going up February 20th. Also follow at Chakra Nova. We're going to be starting like a book club / promotion for Chakra Nova. So I'm going to be like, I don't know what I'm going to do actually, but I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make it cool. I'm going to make it interactive and promoting the book, which drops May 23rd. And I'm going to get ready for this call. But yeah, y'all keep it gangster and keep it cool. Let's big back and be boo. Peace.